How's it going? I hope everyone is doing well whenever you see this. This is going to be a general reading for Gemini for May 16th, 17th, around there, through May 31st. It is a general reading, so it can cover anything from love, work, friends, family, health, etc. So always take it how it resonates for you if it does. And if it doesn't resonate, and you know your birth time, even if you don't know your birth time, you can get a free birth chart online and find out your other placements. For instance, your sun, rising moon, and Venus sign. So always feel free to check out some of my other zodiac sign videos here on my channel, as well as read your other zodiac sign horoscopes and videos with other YouTube readers. So we're going to get into your reading in just a moment here. Gemini, I've shuffled all your cards, and we'll do a little sound bell right before. But I also wanted to say, whenever you see this reading, it is meant for you. So for example, it could resonate 6 months in the past or 6 months in the future, 3 months, 3 days, 3 weeks. Always take it how it resonates, okay? And last thing I wanted to say is that if you want to see a picture at the end, if you're not watching the live, you can just follow the instructions in the description box below, and you can always go check that out afterwards. All right, so let's get started here, Gemini. And so this is just for some grounding and general healing. So if you want to, but you don't have to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever. Okay, Gemini, let's get into your reading here. All right. So if you're new, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. So I'm going to start off real quick by just saying what the first row and second row is here before I list your cards. Okay, so the first row is energy starting around May 16th, May 17th, okay, going through that week and that upcoming weekend. And then the second row here is the last week and weekend of May till about May 31st, okay? But it's not exact, all right? So let me just set my timer here. Okay, wait, yes. All right, Gemini. So you have 3 of sacred circles in the reverse, which is 3 of pentacles in reverse. Prince of Cups in reverse, or Knight of Cups in reverse, 7 of Staves in reverse, or 7 of Wands in reverse, 9 of Cups in reverse, 10 of Cups in reverse, and the Judgment card upright. And then we'll get to your outside tarot cards, which is your confirmation tarot after that. All right. So, well, actually, I forgot, Gemini. Normally, my guides tell me when to talk about what was on the top and the bottom of each deck here, okay? So the main 6 is the Ancestral Tarot deck, and then the one with the yellow border, the confirmation cards, is the Llewellyn deck, okay? So actually, they wanted me to, this time, talk about what was on the top and the bottom of your Llewellyn deck first before we get into your very first card here. Okay, so this is energy from the recent past, Gemini, energy that could be still lingering around underneath your reading, okay? But anyway, you have the Empress in the reverse position that was on top of your deck, and you have the King of Pentacles in the right side up position, which was on the bottom of your deck. Okay, so Gemini, if you've seen me guys before, you know that when I do your readings, this could be your energy, it could be the person you're dealing with or people you're dealing with or your general environment or situation, okay? But this is basically telling us that in the recent past, there could have been something that was going on that had you not feeling all the way in your power. You could have been feeling like your business or work or project wasn't where you wanted it to be, possibly. And despite that, though, there could have been some type of masculine figure around you that was really there to support you and kind of give you guidance, okay? And this person could be, you know, older in age, but it could just be a maturity thing, right? Since he is the king, okay? But also this person could have been there to just help you really ground yourself and know that you were supported despite this past energy here with the Empress in the reverse. Okay, so just so you can see for right side up for reference, when the Empress card is in the right side up position, she is the businesswoman or man, right? Doesn't have to be gender, it's just a metaphor of the tarot deck. Okay, so that's why I said it could have something relating to your business. If you own a business or work or a project or something, or you're just feeling not all the way in your power and you didn't feel support around you. Okay, you were feeling stagnant energy or a lack of growth in some way. Okay, and this is the recent past. All right, so they wanted me to talk about that when I talk about your first card here in the main six, which is the Three of Sacred Circles, which is Three of Pentacles in the reverse position here. So the Three of Sacred Circles in reverse position talks about not being grateful for what you have and planning enough for the future, but also having a sense of feeling a lack, okay, mentality where you feel like there's not enough money around you, okay, abundance around you. So abundance isn't just money, right? It can be good health, resources, time, whatever you want to manifest in your life. Maybe you're having a hard time doing that around that first week that starts May 17th or so, okay? And I also wanted to show you just the card when it's in the right side up position, okay? You see in the background and on the two drums here at the bottom, there's an eagle and there's a bear, okay? And it's like this wintry scene in this like Native American hut here, okay? So when you think of the bear, right, they hibernate during the winter time. They store up a lot of food, okay, in their belly, right? But other people, right, would be storing grains or food in their hut if they're a person, okay? And the eagle talks about, you know, seeing things from a higher perspective. It talks about freedom, okay? And so when these things are in the reverse position, Gemini, this could be saying that, you didn't plan enough for the future about something in some way. Again, it doesn't have to be you, Gemini. It could be the person you're dealing with or your general environment, okay? Maybe you're having a hard time seeing something from a higher perspective as well. But let's go forward and see, you know, kind of how your other cards play out. But I really feel like this first card, this Three of Pentacles in the reverse or Three of Sacred Circles in the reverse, you possibly could have been feeling you know, all those things I just mentioned because your Empress was in the reverse position in the recent past, okay? So you could have been feeling like it's hard to plan for the future. It's hard to feel grateful. It's hard to, you know, hibernate correctly or see things from a higher perspective because you felt this stagnant energy. You didn't feel in your power in some way, okay? But we're going to go forward here, Gemini. So your second card here is the Prince of Cups in reverse position. Let me just turn this down. Sorry about that. Okay, so when you see cups in tarot, right, they represent our emotions, okay, emotional fulfillment, contentment, okay? So when this is in the reverse position, it's saying that there was something with your emotions that could have been not positive, you weren't feeling positive about it, or with someone else's emotions or the general environment. But also this card talks about having some type of communication coming in normally when it's right side up, right? It would be full momentum. It would be the Knight of Cups, the same thing as Prince of Cups, okay? So this is some type of medium-sized communication that you were going to give or someone was going to give to you, okay, that could have been put on hold or not well received, okay, since it was in reverse. Or it could also have just been an opportunity, medium-sized opportunity from the universe that was put on hold or wasn't well received by somebody, okay? But we'll keep going and see, you know, how these cards play out here, Gemini. Now, your third card here is the Seven of Staves in the reverse position, which is also the Seven of Wands in the reverse position, okay? So let me just show you here. And I forgot to say earlier that the ancestral tarot that we're using for the main six, it has Egyptian, Native American, medieval, all different types of culture, Japanese, I'm probably leaving some out, but you know, with this card here, when it's right side up, just so you can see it, this is like in Egypt, right? Okay, so you kind of see the Sphinx like figure all the way in the background and some pharaohs, okay, in the foreground. And this person is like, you know, praying to them at the very bottom here, trying to get answers and insight and spiritual downloads, you know, whatever you want to call it, okay? They're really using their wisdom and looking for more wisdom as they go forward, okay? So since it's in the reverse position for you, Gemini, I really feel like this first week or even this first weekend that we're talking about, you know, on the May 16th, 17th, right, that there is something that you don't want to deal with from the past, okay? There's something that you're not integrating well enough, some type of wisdom from the past. It could be about yourself or about other people or person you're dealing with or general environment or situation, but it also talks about being exhausted and wanting to give up on something, okay? Now, you know, your next two cards here, Gemini, are also in the reverse position. Reverse doesn't always mean bad or negative, but in this kind of way, it is a little bit. But don't worry, because as you get to the end of your reading, things kind of turn out a little more positively. So just hang on here for a moment, okay? But yes, your fourth card is the Nine of Cups in the reverse position, and then the fifth card is the Ten of Cups, right? So you have 9, 10, right? So this, when anytime you see 9 and 10, whether they're reversed or right side up, it talks about the ending of something and the beginning of something new. Okay, so when this is in this reverse position, I really feel like you could have been resisting some type of change or the person you're dealing with or the general environment or situation, okay? But we'll get more into the details here in just a second, okay? So here's your 9 of Cups in the reverse, all right? So when it's right side up, again, the cups represent emotions, all this emotional fulfillment. This is some kind of medieval king's party, right, with the dancing girl in the center and everyone at this big banquet, okay? And you got the music and everything. And so it also talks about having put in a lot of hard work to get to this place. Okay, so these kings and queens or whoever's in the royal family enjoying this fancy banquet, we have to assume that they not just like inheritance, but that they earned their right to be there, however you want to talk about that, okay? But, you know, there's something off where there's stagnant energy, even here a little bit in the second week for you, Gemini. And this is where I want to talk about and where my guides told me to talk about what was on the top and the bottom of your ancestral totem tarot, okay? So you actually showed up in your reading here, Gemini. So what was on the top was the Lovers. Okay, that's the Gemini zodiac card, right? The twins. Okay, and what was on the bottom was Strength in reverse. So when we talk about these two in relation to the 9 of Cups in reverse and the 10 of Cups in reverse, this is really telling us that there was something where you couldn't be all the way yourself, okay? Or you were all the way yourself and in your power and in your element, okay, since this is your card, right? But maybe somebody didn't like that, okay? Or you got a little bit too cocky or powerful in some way, and then it kind of zapped your strength, okay? But it could also mean the traditional meaning of the Lovers card, right? So the Lovers is divine love, okay? Higher vibrational love. It means union, equal give and take between two people. It doesn't have to just be romantic love. It can be a work partnership, deeper level of a relationship with friends or family, etc. But there was something that, and maybe this is even other people were jealous of this deeper relationship, whatever it was for you, or even deeper relationship with different parts of yourself you were starting to integrate, okay? Because you wanted to possibly get out of this stagnant energy, and somehow that confused you or confused other people as well, and it kind of zapped your strength. So I just want to show you real quickly, all of these cards together, okay? Oops, hopefully you can see that right. So the Lovers, upright, Strength in reverse, and the two Nine of Cups and 10 of Cups in the reverse, okay? Now, if this was something to do with some type of leveling up as well, that's another thing we talk about when we go from 9 to 10, right? Not just a deepening of a relationship, whatever relationship it is. It could also be something where you're moving up in a work position, whatever it may be, right? From 9 to 10, but because it's in reverse, it's just basically saying that, yeah, maybe this took a lot out of you, and it had you feel like you couldn't be your whole self because you could have had a lot of pressure on you to get to this 9 and 10 place, right? You could have put a lot of pressure even just on yourself, even if it wasn't from outside people, okay? Because again, the cups are for emotional fulfillment. And so because you were putting a lot of pressure on yourself, or you couldn't be yourself all the way, or this union, possibly threw you off too. Maybe this union, whatever it may be, with the Lovers, again, your card, it could have came in surprisingly for you, Gemini, and perhaps that confused you and had your strength, in the reverse position a little zapped, okay? Strength is also courage, right, with the Lion, okay? So it could be that this new union, whatever it may be, and when I say new, it doesn't have to be new, because remember, this is what was on the top and the bottom of your deck here. So this could have been energy from the recent past, or still lingering underneath your reading. So it doesn't have to be a new union, but whatever this union is, okay, it could have been requiring a lot of courage and strength, and maybe you couldn't get there right away because of something going on here with your emotional contentment, okay? But let's keep going and, see how the rest of your story plays out here, Gemini. Okay, so we're going to move forward. So your last card here in the main 6, Gemini, is the Judgment card in the right side up position here, okay? So when we see this Judgment card, and this could be, again, the second week or last week of May, or into the very last weekend of May as well, where, excuse me, there was something that needed to be weighed and judged correctly, okay? This is also another card that talks about new beginnings, okay? Because typically when you see like this card, you would see people rising up out of their graves, okay? So it talks about Judgment Day, okay? So something wants to be reborn or rebirthed, okay? But it also, in this deck, because you see this woman reaching into the mirror, can talk about ego and identity, can talk about portals into other worlds. There's a lot of different ways that you can look, into this card here. But I really feel like until you deal possibly, Gemini, with some issues of your own identity or ego here, that whatever this 9 and 10, 9 of Cups in reverse and 10 of Cups in reverse, the emotional fulfillment that you want, that could be connected to this union, until you really look at yourself and learn to love yourself too, you're not going to be able to get that union that you want, and you're not going to feel, if it's not a union, all the way in your zone or in your power, until you really learn to love yourself and have courage, okay? Because you can also see in the very tiny corner here, there's her punching, okay? I don't know if you can see, it's her fist balled up. And so she's angry, right? It's not just reaching in to a portal, but it's this it's this angry energy, okay? And it could be because something wasn't judged correctly. And it could be because part of you doesn't want a new beginning or something to be restarted again. You always have to take it how it resonates for you. But, you know, now this is the perfect time to get into the rest of your confirmation cards here. Well, we haven't got into your confirmation cards, but the rest of your cards here in your deck. Okay, your spread. So your first confirmation card is the King of Wands upright, the Emperor upright, and the Wheel of Fortune upright. Okay, so with this King of Wands, okay, confirming here Gemini, the Three of Sacred Circles are Three of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Nine of Cups in reverse. This is saying that in the recent past, there could have been something where you've wanted to rest, okay? You wanted to, you felt like you had put in a lot of hard work and experience into something, and you felt a lot of support around you, yes, by the bell, right, confirmation, and you possibly wanted to rest, right? Like this king is resting on his throne, okay? But this was saying, right, with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, that you can't rest yet because there was something that didn't have accurate amount of planning that went into it, okay? Or feeling grateful for what you have, or seeing something from a higher perspective. The only thing you can say about certain kings in tarot, especially when they're represented as an older man, right, is that they can be very cold and calculated. They don't show their emotions to everybody, and they can also be seen as stuck in their ways. So there could have been something in the recent past, Gemini, where you didn't want to look at something from a new perspective, and you were just really tired, right? Which we also talked about with the Seven of Wands in reverse, wanting to give up and feeling tired and not wanting to integrate some kind of wisdom that was from your past or from the past situation. And so that, yeah, hopefully you understand what I'm saying there. But also when this King of Wands upright is confirming the Nine of Cups, and the reverse position is basically saying that there could have been a little bit of self-sabotage for some of you as well, right? Because when you're at 9, almost at 10, there's a leveling up. There's an ending of something, a beginning of something, something new, right? And so possibly some of you could have done a little bit of self-sabotage and being stubborn and cold and calculated, okay, and resisting this in some way. But I also want to say that, you know, the positive sides of the King of Wands upright is there's a little salamander here, or chameleon, okay? So when it's a salamander, they've done the trial by fire, okay? So they've gone through a lot and come out alive, okay? If it's the chameleon, they know how to adapt and change to certain environments, okay? So when you see this little chameleon, salamander, whatever you want to call it, at the bottom of the king, he could also be reminding him, hey, I know you've been through a lot and you came through the fire, but you still need to be adaptable here. Okay, so there could be, again, since these other cards that it's confirming are both in the reverse, where you didn't want to adapt to planning something or looking at something from a different, higher perspective, and you didn't want to adapt to finally getting that emotional fulfillment and having an ending or a new beginning, okay? Now, your second confirmation card here, Gemini, is the Emperor. And it was funny, when I was doing your first set of shuffling for the main 6, the Emperor came out in the upright position, just how it is here, okay? But I always ask my guides if this is the card they want, and they said no. And I asked them if they wanted it in reverse. They said no, so I put it back in the deck, and then here it came back out again. So I know this energy definitely wanted to be here. It just didn't want to be in the main 6, but it's still confirming, you know, and still showing up here. So this could be, for some of you, since it is the Emperor, you could be dealing with an Aries or have a lot of Aries in your chart, but it doesn't have to be, okay? But the Emperor, you can tell by his posture, is very confident and relaxed on his throne, Okay, he's let his defenses down a little bit with his shield here. But he has a lot of, courage and passion. The only thing is, again, just like the King of Wands, he could become a little bit like lazy or comfortable in his position, okay, not wanting to budge or be open to hearing new ideas or new things about something. But it's still very strong, like I said, passionate, courageous card, and it has a lot of strength and has a lot of support energy around it here. So when this Emperor upright is confirming the Prince of Cups in reverse and the Ten of Cups in reverse, this could be saying definitely, Gemini, that something to deal with your an emotional fulfillment or contentment, right? Since they're both in the reverse position, is off, and it could be that you become lazy or too set in your ways with showing your emotion, and you're being too cold and calculated about something. You're like, okay, I've let my defenses down. What else do you want? That kind of energy. And so maybe it's saying that you need to, sit up straighter, right? Something to do with confidence as well. He's also kind of, like I said, kind of like lazily sitting there, okay? But always take it how it resonates for you. Let me just put these back here. So we'll keep moving forward, and then I'll kind of like sum up everything here. But your last card, which is beautiful, okay, your last confirmation tarot is the Wheel of Fortune in the upright position. Okay, right, thank God, because we've had a lot of like heavy stuff here in your reading, but it happens to all of us, right? We're all human. But this talks about the wheel turning in your favor. It talks about good luck, okay? It talks about forward momentum, okay? It talks about creativity, passion, all those things, enlightenment, peaceful energy, just a lot of great things and energy in this card. Okay, so since it is your last confirmation card, and it is confirming the Seven of Staves or Seven of Wands in reverse and the Judgment card upright, it could be saying, whatever this was from the past, Gemini, where you didn't want to integrate something from the past or really value and appreciate some kind of past wisdom, okay, from something, even if it was, like, let's say a bad situation and you only see it as bad, but you don't see it as, okay, I learned something, and you don't see that bad situation as being a motivator for something good in the future. That could be something too. But it's really just saying that you can't give up, Gemini, right? Remember, I also said this is a card about exhaustion, okay, and wanting to give up. Okay, so this is telling you, please don't give up, right? The wheel will turn again in your favor, okay? It could be more towards the end of the month or the beginning of June, but it's telling you to hold on, Gemini. And when this Wheel of Fortune is also confirming the Judgment card upright, this could be saying that whatever judgment, okay, maybe it hasn't happened yet for some of you, this weighing and balancing, okay, and evaluating of something, it will be judged correctly, or you will get judgment, okay? But if it's something to do with having a rebirth, it's also going to be really positive, okay, bringing something back to life. But if it has something to do, even with, again, the card here in this deck talks about the ego and identity and letting go of anger, the more that you're able to do that, okay, use your anger as fuel, but don't hurt yourself, okay? There's also could be self-destructive energies here for some of you, but not everybody, right? But the more that you get that in control, you will have more positive momentum and positive outcome afterwards. Okay. So hopefully, that is making sense for you guys so far here. And before we get into your oracle cards, because I know I'm going a little bit over time, but yeah, just to sum up, like, again, real quickly, Gemini, there could have been, something where you weren't feeling in your power, that had something to do with work or business, or you just weren't feeling supported, and there was some kind of stagnant energy in general, even though there was, or still is, right, this positive male influence, masculine influence in your life that was telling you to be more grounded. You were still having a hard time planning for the future, seeing something from a higher perspective. Okay. And that could be because your emotions were not properly balanced about something, and it could have something to do with, not for everybody, right, this message or communication that you were going to give or somebody was going to give to you, or an opportunity from the universe, okay, that either was put on hold or wasn't well received. And this made you feel exhausted. This made you feel like there's nothing from the past that I can get any wisdom from, okay? And then, right, as we go into your second week here, and into, still talking about some past energies with what was on the top and the bottom of your deck too, where there was some type of possible union with deeper parts of yourself, union, romantic union with the Lover's card, or a deeper level of a relationship at work, right? Work partnerships, or platonic, or friends, or family, whatever it was. Because you were still in that energy of wanting to give up and being exhausted and not wanting to learn from the past, this could have blocked your endings and your new beginnings, and kind of threw off your emotions as well, and made you feel weak or not in your strength, okay, or not having a lot of courage, okay, with the strength card in the reverse. But as we know, like we just talked about, towards the end of the month here, Gemini, you could have this judgment, okay, with yourself or with another person or organization, or however it resonates, that the more that you only use your anger with this judgment, however which way it goes, whether the judgment is justified or not, okay? If you use the anger as a motivator, that's great. But if it gets to the point where you become self-destructive, then you won't get your last card, the Wheel of Fortune, in upright position, okay? So that is, kind of how I see it, and just a little bit of a reminder. So with all that being said, Gemini, woo, you're going to make it, though. You're going to make it. Let's get into your oracle cards real quick. They're a little bit more lighter, and some last little messages for you here. So your first oracle card is the Polar Bear, and it says, stand up for yourself and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately, with no attachment to outcome. And excuse me, Gemini, when I saw this card, I really was like, this needs to go with the Judgment card, okay? All right. So you could be having to stand up for something, and it's saying, do it in a nice, respectful way. Don't be all the way angry, right? But do stand up for yourself, but don't be attached to the outcome. Again, kind of what I was saying earlier, like, even if this judgment isn't justified or doesn't go in your favor the way that you want, okay, just know that you did what was best for you, okay, and others, as long as you're not hurting yourself or others, all right? Now, your second oracle card here, Gemini, is your love oracle card, and it says playfulness, right? Gemini, ruled by Jupiter and is opposite of Sagittarius, because I'm a Sagittarius. I know a lot of really fun, goofy Geminis, so I feel like this kind of goes with the Lover's card, since that is your card. But anyway, regardless of whether you're watching this reading for romantic or platonic love, right? You can always take the message. It says, to recapture romance or just happy times in general, right? Allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine, okay? So that could be a message for some of you guys at this time, okay? Not just for romance, but because this is your card, Gemini. You are the twins, the lovers. So the more fun you have, you could get back into your energy, okay? And have a better time at manifesting, okay? Now, your last oracle card is Water Your Garden, and it says nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest, okay? And you see this person here in, I guess they're taking a bath, okay, outside, and you see the space in the background and these beautiful trees, okay. But yeah, this is definitely a message for some of you guys during this time, to take care of yourself, okay. Love yourself, be gentle with yourself, and really get the rest that you need, especially because of all of this emotional turmoil that you were kind of finding your way through, in the beginning of your reading, and also because in the recent past your strength was in the reverse too, okay. All right, so those are the messages that I have for you at this time, Gemini. um, I also wanted to say too, I don't know if I mentioned it in your last reading, but if you want to, you can always go back and watch or look at your last reading, the cards just from the reading anyway, because I know that Mercury goes into Gemini on May 14th, and today I'm filming this on the 12th. Okay, so even if you're not a Sun, Rising, Moon, or Venus Gemini, you can still have Gemini in different parts of your chart, but Mercury is, you're ruled by Mercury, Gemini, and Mercury is all about communication. So, you know, again, I'm going back to real quickly the second card here for you, which is the Prince or Knight of Cups in the reverse position. And that was that communication I said that was either put on hold or wasn't well received or something. And it could have something to do with your ability to communicate. I think Mercury's in Gemini until like July, right? So when it starts on the 14th, we're even getting the pre-shadow period, starting before, like even a week before or last week, right? So, I'm not an astrologer. I can't talk a lot about that, but I would definitely Google that or look into that if that's something of interest to you, just to note as well, because I really feel like that's some more insight into why we got some of these cards here for you today. But anyway, Gemini, like I always say, because we're going to end now, I'm not going to keep you forever. If you want to see a picture of all these cards, all you have to do is click on my website in the description box below. There's instructions there. But if you're on my website, then you just find the Facebook link. Once on Facebook, find this Gemini reading that I'll post in a few minutes. And the first comment will be just one picture of everything in case you want to look at this later. And again, I really encourage you maybe to go back to even the last set of readings, the 1st through the 16th, and look at the photo if you don't want to rewatch it, and see if there's any other clues here for you, okay? So anyway, thank you guys so much for all your energy and support. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to, it is free. You can just click on the bell icon in the bottom right and make sure it's active. But you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.